I don't usually do shout outs in these videos, but I have to make an exception this time because my son just got engaged. And so I want to dedicate this video to an amazing young man and his amazing bride. Here goes. Jacob, Yaakov, twice in his life sends a mincha, a gift to another person. The first time he sends it to Esav, his twin brother, before their reunion. The gift is gigantic. It consists of over 500 animals, taking up the landscape as far as Esav's eye can see. And it works. Esav is appeased. The second time is in this week's Torah portion. 9 of Yaakov's sons come back from their mission to Egypt to buy food during the famine. They tell their father about how they met this strange ruler in Egypt, who kept one of them hostage and sent them back, insisting that they return with their youngest brother, Binyamin. Yaakov's very upset about this. He doesn't want to send Binyamin, but eventually, and reluctantly, he agrees. But he tells the brothers that when you go back, I want you to bring this gift and give it to the ruler. And so he picks the gift himself. He takes a little bit of honey, some pistachios, some almonds, and 3 different spices and puts them together. Now, I understand. There was a famine going on, so he couldn't send the gift like the one he sent to Esav. He couldn't send 500 plus animals. But a fruit and nut plate? Are you kidding me? Yaakov couldn't have come up with something more impressive than that? Maybe a piece of original Israeli artwork? What's going on? So I have a theory that can explain this. 22 years earlier, when the brothers came back with Yosef's blood-stained coat and showed it to Yaakov, he must have been a little suspicious. What happened? The animal first undressed Yosef and then ate him? There's no sign whatsoever of the body, but the coat is still intact. And now fast forward, the brothers come back, they've met this strange ruler in Egypt. Yaakov says to them, why did you tell him that you have a younger brother? And they say, Dad, he knew everything about us. He kept asking us questions. The Medrash says that he even told them the type of wood that was used in their childhood cribs. So maybe Yaakov starts connecting the dots. Yosef disappeared under mysterious circumstances. His brothers, the ones that don't like him, come back home with his bloodstained coat. Now, years later, they meet this strange ruler who knows everything about the family. And who's he asking for? Binyamin, Yosef's one full brother, the one with whom he was close. Maybe, just maybe, my plans for him to be a leader someday, maybe his teenage dreams that he'd become a ruler have come true. Maybe that ruler is my son Yosef.
I thought that when it was your time that you would be the one to hold the strings. Senator. Governor.
And so maybe Yaakov decides to send him a message, a coded message that only Yosef will understand. He puts together Yosef's favorite 3 snacks and favorite 3 smells. If you stop my father and ask him, what are my favorite snacks? He'll rattle them off right away. Bananas, peanuts, soft pretzels. So Yaakov would have known what Yosef's favorites were. To send a secret message to him, son, I love you. And it's striking. If you look at Yosef's reaction immediately upon receiving the gift, before he even greets his beloved brother Binyamin, whom he hasn't seen in all those years, he starts asking the brothers, how's your father doing, the one you mentioned? Is he okay? Is he still alive? And if I'm right, this will also answer a question from last week's Torah portion, wherein the Torah detailed for us the exact names of the spices that the Arab merchants were carrying when they transported Yosef to Egypt. Why do we care about that? Rashi, the greatest of the commentators, tells us that at that time, Arab merchants would typically carry foul-smelling items. But because Yosef was being transported, God arranged that they'd be carrying instead pleasant-smelling spices. But if you're Yosef, if you're 17, and your brothers have sold you as a slave to Egypt, are you going to care or even notice what the caravan is carrying? Probably not. But what if you smelled not 1, not 2, but all 3 of your favorite smells? Then you might say, that can't be a coincidence. That's a message from God telling me that he loves me and that he's watching over me. And as Maxwell Smart would say, would you believe that if you compare Genesis, Bereshit, chapter 37, verse 25, with chapter 43, verse 11, you'll see that the same 3 spices that caravan was holding are the exact same 3 spices that Yaakov put in the gift to Yosef. If Yaakov would have known what his son's 3 favorite smells and snacks were, then God certainly would have known what Yosef's favorite smells were and sent the same ones. Maybe to send him that message, I love you and I'll be watching over you in Egypt, just as he always watches over all of us.
Well, there are great gray skies. I don't mind the gray skies. You make them blue, sunny boy.